What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast live stream. Today, we got an NFC East roundtable. A little early, draft ain't here yet, but every offseason feel like it gets a little bit longer, so we need to get some of this out the way. You know, a lot of people making moves. We got people on their own channels claiming the East, so we're going to talk about it. Starting off now, these guys are great content creators of their own content. I do not like their teams. I believe they feel the same way about me, but they do great content. So without further ado, let me start with my guy to my right and introduce yourself.
Yeah, but no, I hear a little bit of an echo, but no, New York Giants fan, Entertainah talking sports. I appreciate you having me on the podcast. Always love talking football. Want to start to do more of these on my channel myself. Get to know some of the content creators better. Can't wait to chop it up with you guys. Talk some NFC East football. So thanks for having me on.
Go ahead, Ed.
What's going on? What's good, Washington fans? What's good, NFC East fans? We got the NFC East champs in here. You know, you already see the hat. It's the real Ed Oliver, not the one from the Bills, but the real Ed Oliver. Appreciate you for having me on, Mike.
Nope, you already know.
All right, it's your boy, Mr. Rome, Cowboys fan talk. I'm the youngin' of the bunch as far as content creators go. Thank you guys for bringing me on. Thanks, Mike, for bringing me on. And hey, man, let's chop it up.
Facts. So we're going to start with a question that, real quick, is my mic good for you guys?
Yeah, you good.
Sounds good.
Not too low?
No, you're good, man.
All right, in the chat, let me know if it's too low. But we're going to start with a question that kind of goes in 2020, leading to 2021 with the players you have on your team. Give me something from each of your squads that you didn't like, that you don't want to bring into 2021, and something that you thought, was pretty good in 2020 and you would like to build off in 2021. We'll start with you, the Entertainah.
All right. Well, the thing that I liked last year that definitely surprised was our defense as a whole. I don't think any Giants fan, rational Giants fan going into the year thought our defense would be nearly as good as it was. We finished near top 10 in the league. And I think we're only going to build off that. Second year in the same scheme with Patrick Graham. He's a mastermind. I love that we brought in Adoree Jackson. I think that's only going to help us get more aggressive in terms of getting after the quarterback. That was our biggest weakness on defense. I thought some people point to the pass rusher, but our blitz frequency was near bottom of the league because we had a bad second corner. Now you're going to be able to play man press. I think that'll allow the New York Giants to blitz a lot more this year. So I'm super excited about the defense going into year two of the Joe Judge scheme. The thing that was underwhelming, I mean, the offense as a whole, but obviously, J.C. Garrett's scheme and Daniel Jones, you were expecting, to build off his rookie year in which he threw 24 touchdowns, only had 11 touchdowns through the air. I think some of that was because the Giants came out with a conservative approach because they knew that they didn't stack up with their opponents offensively. So they tried to play a ball control offense. I expect them to open it up more this year. But, Jones was definitely underwhelming. The offense as a whole was underwhelming. I think the Saquon Barkley injury had something to do with that for sure. And not having a number one option, which now obviously we have with Golladay. So I expect and Ross, I think, is a nice pickup as well to go along with Rudolph. But I expect the Giants to open it up more this year, and I think we'll get a better understanding of what we have at the quarterback spot. But that was definitely the underwhelming part.
Go ahead, Ed.
What I didn't like was our offense. Everybody knows we won games with our defense. Defense wins championships, but our offense was bad last year. And no disrespect to Alex Smith, I appreciate everything that he did for us, but checking down the ball is just not going to get you far. So we brought in Fitzmagic. I don't know if he's the answer. In the past he's thrown a whole bunch of interceptions. There's games where he looks good. He does the thing where he puts the sunglasses on after the game, and then the next 3 games he plays terrible, and then he's the backup again. So, but I appreciate Alex Smith, but the checking down, like I said, offense was not that great, but we started to get better. We're helping out Terry McLaurin. We got better receivers. We got Curtis Samuel now, Adam Humphries. But the defense, that's what I love about this team. We just got to keep building with Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, the Bama boys, John Allen, Tim Settle, Matt Ionite is coming back. So we just got to shore up that back end. We got a good corner, William Jackson. Let Darby walk, and we got Kendall Fuller. So we just got to shore up that back end with Cameron Curl. Landon Collins is coming back. We'll see how he is after the Achilles injury. So we just got to improve with our secondary. We got to improve offensively.
Yes, sir. As far as for the Cowboys, Obviously, I'm pretty sure I know I would lean. I didn't like our defense too much. But to be more specific, it wasn't really like when I dove into what was wrong with our defense last year. It's our run defense, specifically our D tackle area. Don't really got that too much of a problem with D-Law. I like Randy Gregory. Those are great ends to me. It's our D tackle area. When I looked into the numbers, the thing that probably would surprise all three of y'all is we were ranked 11th in pass defense. I don't know how. It's still confusing, but our run defense was ranked 31st. That's the thing that's what teams would crush us with. We couldn't stop the run. Hopefully we can do that this year. We couldn't stop the run to save our lives. So if we can shore that up, that's my main focus in this offseason. We can just shore up the run defense. And that's the whole front seven. That's not just the D line, but I just want to see better play from the linebackers and the D line. I do think a lot of that is coaching, because Mike Nolan wanted us to do this whole new 3-4. He had D-Law standing up, trying to play outside linebacker, dropping into coverage. It's just not his game. You can't do that in the middle of someone's career. He had a whole bunch of real specific types of coverages he wanted to call that the players couldn't pick up via Zoom meetings. So it just had us all over the place. But for us to finish 11th in pass defense, it's somewhere in the middle. I don't think that some of that is just poor competition, and some of that is just we weren't as bad on the back end as opposed to our run defense just being so horrible. So hopefully the defense as a whole can improve. But I definitely want to see that front seven shored up with a couple of different, maybe a late signing, or obviously in the draft, since free agency is pretty much dead now.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to my guy Ark, Mac Catering with the $5 super chat. He says, showing love for the channel. Keep up the great work. Fly, Eagles, fly. And yeah, man. So with your defense needed to get better, why not go take a tight end, right? A hybrid tight end. It makes perfect
sense. I have no doubt that I want Pitts.
I hear you.
It's not a D tackle that I can take at 10.
True.
Like that corner is not going to help with the run defense either.
Yeah, I hear you. To me, the Eagles had a lot of struggles, but I think there's one thing that's been impacting our team a little bit further than 2020. It's just called the injury bug. We can't keep people on the field, whether it's offense, defense, young, old. It doesn't matter. We can't keep them on the field. So I think that as a whole, eventually it got to leave us. Like the bad luck, maybe it was, we went through medical staff after medical staff, and that's not changing. So I think maybe how we prepare, maybe it was the coaching staff on player development and just overall practices. Something's not working. So hopefully that doesn't follow us into 2021. But one thing I want to see is, I want to see Jalen Hurts flourish. And I like what he was able to do against Arizona and the Saints. I really don't like what he did against both the Cowboys and Washington. And even though we were in the game at Washington, it was an ugly, muddy game. He was under 50%. Completion percentage, but shout out to Washington's defense. They're no joke. That's who carried them to the playoffs. I don't know if it's magic or if it's tragic. I don't know which one you're gonna get. We're gonna talk about that. But I want to see Jalen Hurts take the next step. I have a little bit of concerns, but I also see potential. So I'm not going to be the guy who hates on him, but I'm not going to be the guy calling him the next Donovan McNabb. So we're going to have to really see that. Yeah. Real quick, shout out to some more super chats. Cowboys fans only. Showing love to my guys, and thank you for trading out of 6. Fly, Eagles, fly. It always feels weird when I read when the Cowboy fans saying it, because it's normally not good for the Eagles. You know what I mean? I hear you.
Petty at this point.
I hear you. Shout out to Asia Robertson, Giants fan in the building with the $20 super chat. Yo, what's up, Philly Mike? You got my boy at Chris, the Entertainah, in here. If you could get Bad Dog in here, I would love you forever. By the way, I'm watching your Phillies right now. Can't wait for the Giants-Eagles showdown. That's facts. We got one more in here real quick, representing Cowboy Nation in the building. BJ Nix with the $4.99 super chat. Shout out to y'all for coming in here. So let's grade some free agents. I know the Entertainah talked about them moves, but if you could grade your free agency, what would you give it? And let's talk about some of the guys you got. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, no, I love what we did in free agency. Granted, a lot of Giants fans will revisit history in 2016, and a lot of people that may be Washington fans or Eagles fans or Cowboys fans. 2016 to me was a completely different situation. Yeah, we spent like insane amount of money, but it was a much different situation because we had Eli Manning and we were paying him top tier money. This is the opportunity to try to take advantage of your quarterback on your rookie salary. you have to do it. So I completely applaud the New York Giants for doing what they did. This was the time to spend big in free agency and try to take advantage of Daniel Jones' salary, kind of like the Cowboys did when Dak was on, before he got.
We ain't never spent like you, not with Stephen Jones.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying, well, you guys traded for Cooper. You paid him big bucks. You gave Zeke his extent. You made some.
We paid our own,
everybody but
never
Dak, yeah.
Yeah.
I could do a whole show about how we don't get free agents, but that's another thing for another day.
But I think that's the appropriate time though to spend. And I think by the time hopefully Jones works out, we don't know if that's going to happen yet. That's when you got to start to really hit home with your draft picks, and we need to continue to build through the draft. That's ultimately what wins championships. That's something that the Cowboys have done very well over the last 5 or 6 years. But I applaud what they did. Our biggest needs, you go watch my channel that I said a year ago, going into this offseason was a cornerback 2 and a wide receiver 1. It's what we got. We also added Kyle Rudolph. I think John Ross is a no-risk, high reward. I think you could add a little bit to this offense. We brought in a nice Fadi Adenabo was a nice rotational edge rusher that we brought in. Also brought in the guy from Washington. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but he's a nice outside linebacker. Former second-round pick, Reggie Ragland, a nice middle linebacker. We made a bunch of really nice depth signings. I think Glennon was an upgrade at the backup quarterback position as well over Colt McCoy. So I would say at least A-. I mean, if you want to factor in, maybe we overspent a little bit, but when you're, usually you're going to overspend in free agency. That's the way it works.
Yeah, that's how free agency works. You can't.
Yeah, you get B-level production for an A-level price, but if it works out, I expect the Giants to take a big step up this year, and I think free agency has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ed. Let us know how you feel about your free agency.
I liked it a lot. So we signed Fitzmagic or Fitztragic. We signed him at like midnight. So I wanted to sleep. I woke up in the morning. I looked at my phone. I was like, we really signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, like out of all quarterbacks. We signed Fitzpatrick because we were like, oh, we're going to trade for Deshaun Watson. We're going to trade for Russell Wilson. We're going to do this Sam Darnold, Mariota. And we ended up with Fitzmagic. So that was the craziest thing to sign a 30. We just released a 35-year-old Alex Smith. And then we end up signing Fitzmagic, who's 38, So, but the crazy thing is I sat back and I was like, okay, Fitzmagic, last year he's 4-3 as a starter with the Dolphins. The Dolphins were a good team last year. They were 10-6. If they were the NFC East, they would have easily won the NFC East. I mean, a lot of teams would have, but he's playing the best football he's ever played in his career. I mean, he was top 5 in QBR last year. He was number 8 in QBR the year before. So, I mean, the last 16 games, he threw 27 touchdowns and 13 picks. So this is the best that he's been, in his career. So it's going to be a roller coaster ride. I gave it Fitzmagic. And when we first did it, I gave it like a C+, but then I sat back and I was like, you know what? I gave it a B+ because we didn't trade for Sam Darnold. We didn't give up draft capital. It's a $10 million deal, $12 million with incentives. So it's not the worst deal in the year, but I'm not the happiest guy in the world, but it's a meh blah signing. I'll take it. Then Curtis Samuel, I thought that was an A+ for what we paid him because Terry McLaurin just needs help. It can't just be the Terry McLaurin show. People are, you got Slay, you got Logan Ryan, you got Bradbury trying to lock down McLaurin, so you can't. And then you got Trayvon Diggs is getting better, even though he cooked Trayvon Diggs last year. So. You can't just have one good wide receiver. You need more than just Terry McLaurin. So we got Curtis Samuel. He's really good he was good with the Panthers. He's an upgrade. Then you got Adam Humphries, who's a low risk, high reward signing. He's a slot guy. He can be like our poor man's Wes Welker out there. And then we got William Jackson, who's a really good corner, did a really good job against Kenny Galladay a couple years ago. He locked him down. So that's going to be a tough matchup right there. I'm excited for that. So signing him was huge. He was like the top corner in the free agency class, so I gave that one an A. We let Darby walk. Then we get him 6 feet. He ran a 4.3. Got long arms, long range, all kinds of stuff. So I gave our free agency like a B+ or A-.
Yeah, before you go, like I said, I want to just talk about Fitzmagic a little bit. Hey, but it puts Washington in a weird situation because of how good your defense is. If Fitzmagic can just be a little bit more positive than negative, your team is going to be decent. We saw it last year with the in and out quarterbacks you had from, all of them. It's always going to put you picking in the mid round. So it's like you can't get that top pick for your franchise quarterback. There's not many franchise quarterbacks on the market. So it's going to keep you guys in limbo, I think, a little bit longer. But as long as you can stack that capital and see what goes on with the guys like Darnold and Russell and Watson in the future. But hey, we don't need your defense getting any better.
And I won't sleep on Taylor Heineke. He's like a low key. He played really well in the playoff game, and you can be an underdog. It could be an underdog story. I wouldn't sleep on Taylor Heineke. He was a restricted free agent. We brought him back, so I just wouldn't sleep on him.
Got you. Go ahead, CFT.
Well, it's easy. I give our grade is an incomplete because Dallas is the last 4 or 5 years. If you watched our strategy, we don't attack a free agency early. We kind of wait and we pick the bones of what's left. So right now, our best signing is Keanu Neal. You know what I'm saying? But he's coming off an injury, so it's a mystery about how he will return to form. I do like what they're going to do, bring him in, because I like that they're going to have him playing more of a linebacker than strong safety, because we got a strong safety in Donovan Wilson, who was playing pretty lights out last year. He's one of our bright spots on our defense. I want people that got good football instincts. That's what carries Donovan Wilson over the top. It's his good football instincts. So I'm thinking that with the free agents we brought in, we got Brent Urban. He's a run stopper. They're focusing on getting run stoppers. We brought in somebody named Carlos Watkins. He won't make the team. I'm not really worried about him. He's a camp body. He won't make the team at all. I'm not worried about that because we'll probably draft a D tackle or two, but you got to cover your bases just in case you can't. We also brought in Terrell Basham to pretty much replace Alden Smith because Alden Smith won't be back. I think he's going through some personal issues, so he's gone. But Terrell Basham is 100% a 4-3 defensive end, and the Jets were trying to run him at a 3-4, just like what Mike Nolan was doing, and got him out of position. He saw his most success putting his hand in the dirt, which is what we'll be doing, having him rotate with Randy Gregory and D-Law. So I'm going to give it a – and we brought in DeMonte Casey from the Falcons too.
Don't forget about Dak.
Well, that's the biggest free agent, but that don't really count.
Oh, you kept him. That counts. We kept Leonard Williams.
Well, I'm of course ecstatic about that, but there's no. Obviously,
yeah.
If it hit the market,
true colors come out about Dak Prescott. No, let me stop.
That's the biggest wild card of this whole discussion.
Yeah,
because as much as the division looked what it looked like last year, our biggest detraction was we didn't have our starting quarterback. 100% the division wouldn't have went the same way if he was healthy. I know everybody want to lie to themselves. Hey, you know how I know you can lie to yourself? See if it go the same way this year.
Nah. Look, I will agree. No, I will agree
that the same way this year.
I will agree that Dak is better than Andy Dalton, but you were like a 1-3-ish. Now you possibly could have turned it around. You know what I mean? Dak was putting up them numbers. It was your defense.
I did a whole video series on all of those games. You're not gonna get me with the whole. This ain't ESPN. You're not gonna get me with the. Well, Dak was losing the Giants. No, he wasn't. Dak was leading in the Giants game.
Okay, he was 500.
So it's real easy.
Here's what I'm gonna say about that. You're probably right. You probably won the Giants game if Dak plays. You should have absolutely lost the Falcons game, which was a complete fluke. You recover the onside kick. You 1,000%.
Beat the onside kick, but how did we get to that point?
But you should have never been
down. You should have down by.
I'm not saying that Dak wasn't responsible for bringing it back.
How did 4 scores happen?
That should have been lost. Though.
How did the 4 scores happen?
Because of Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's a choke artist.
How did the 4 scores happen though?
I'm just saying.
Onside, but if you're
going to say the Giants game should have been a win, you got to admit that the Falcons game should have been lost.
No, that definitely should have been a win. The first game should have been a win because I know you saw that arm bar that Jalen Ramsey threw on Michael Gallup, and they threw the flag for offensive pass interference
against the Rams.
Yes.
You know what my take is? I don't know team.
I know you don't. It's real easy. Nah. And we took the lead in the Seattle game. But the thing that I told you that need to improve is the reason why we lost. Because with 2 minutes left, we took the lead. But Russell Wilson was like, "Oh, I got this. Just give me the ball." Dak Prescott did his job last year. I have no doubt.
Dak's a good quarterback.
I'm not even worried about it. Maybe if you cut me after his rookie season, you could have talked me into I got to see more. I've seen enough. I know he can play quarterback. I'm not even worried about it.
I wasn't saying it in the sense of him not being a good quarterback. He's definitely proven that's why he deserved the deal. You know, I think everybody in the division was saying, "What's going on with Jerry and Dak?" Like the guy's proven he can lead the team with what you got him. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
Checkbook. He control the money now.
Jerry
is the face of it. Steven running the whole show. Trust me.
But like I said, you know, good quarterbacks can still be on losing teams, a la Deshaun Watson. Now, you guys have a lot more around Dak than that, but I'm saying Deshaun Watson from PFF is talking about this might be one of the best quarterback performances, you know, with what was going on around him. But, you know,
the difference between Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson, his name is Randall Cobb. Dak Prescott got Randall Cobb paid. Deshaun Watson almost got him cut.
Well, the whole Houston organization almost got him cut.
No, he got him paid. He got him a nice deal. He went right to Houston, got paid, and then fell right back off the map like with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but we can
That's
also
say, talk about Dak Prescott. He said he's one of his favorite. I know he's one of your favorite quarterbacks. He got you paid.
But we can also say that Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup was also part of the reason being 1 and 2, and you're getting a third guy. You know what I mean? The slot guy is going to have a better opportunity in coverage than Amari getting locked down. But real quick, mine's going to be quick. My free agency was cheap, but I do like it in the sense that coming from where we were, 56 million negative. To get over the cap, still got Zach Ertz on the roster. We still are trying to shop him, but to me, I think we're going to keep him for the simple fact that he's an unrestricted free agent next year. We love him. I think we want to do good by him, but we also want to get something for the Eagles. So we're shopping him for a fourth or less. Now with the leverage, nobody's going to give us a third for Zach Ertz because he knows he's walking. So they're going to wait and see, and we will get a comp pick for him. So if you're trying to offer a 5th, 6th, 7th, we'll get a comp pick, and maybe he can help a young Jalen Hurts, especially with us moving to 12 and not getting Kyle Pitts or something along them lines. So we can use surehand Zach Ertz. People talk about him not getting yak. He still catches the ball for a first down. I'll give him that when he's healthy. But yeah, Anthony Harris, a guy had 6 interceptions in 19. Count 7 if you count the playoffs. Kind of fell off in 2020, but the whole Vikings defense disappeared. So I ain't really worried about one man in a bad defense. The Joe Flacco was just a veteran body, but I think just getting to the zero.
You don't think that?
You don't think that? He didn't think that with the Jets. He didn't think that with the Broncos, but he still's at the bench. Listen, I'd be worried if Fitzmagic was behind Jalen Hurts because he gets them couple magical games. But Flacco, if we're not in the playoffs, he's not producing. You know what I mean?
Play for y'all. Outside of an injury, he probably won't play for y'all.
Nah,
but he want to play.
I know. I agree. So, like I said, I honestly think you guys all did bigger moves than us. Like I said, we put ourselves in a situation where holding on to the older guys, we're not ready. But we're going to be ready for 2022. No, we're going to have money next year. We'll have money next year. Hold on.
No, all kidding aside, I pick on the Eagles a lot. I'm a Giants fan. I don't blame the Eagles at all for doing what they did. Yeah, you backloaded all your salaries, but you won a Super Bowl, and you were trying to capitalize off that. You still had Carson Wentz on the rookie salary. I think any team would have tried to do the same thing that you did. It's just I'm a Giants fan. I'm miserable. We're in the cellar, and we're waiting for you guys to start to crumble. The Eagles are starting to crumble now with the salary cap. But, yeah, if you guys draft well, the one thing about the Eagles that I completely disagree with, and maybe you disagree with me, I don't know. I think that when you should have started from scratch. You should have fired Howie Roseman as well.
Oh, yeah.
I witnessed it as a Giants fan in 2015 when the Giants fired Tom Coughlin, but they kept Jerry Reese. It's not a recipe for success because then you get a GM trying to save his job and you bring in a new head coach and it just screws everything up. So I don't know. It seems like, Roseman really had no choice. Like, you guys couldn't be aggressive at free agency because of your cap situation. But I think it was a mistake because if I'm Roseman, I'm trying to make it still work with the guys that I've brought in there, where really what you guys need to do is reset the clock. Now, maybe that trade down signifies that that's what you're going to be doing, which is why, as a Giants fan, a lot of Giants fans were, like, excited when you guys traded down. I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is the right move by the Eagles because you're getting future draft capital, and to me, it shows that you're starting to rebuild. I personally think you're probably 2 years away before you guys are going to be a threat, like in terms of maybe, like a serious playoff threat if you guys draft well and everything else, and a lot of that's going to come down to Hurts. But I think that it was a good sign for you guys that you guys aren't trying to maintain what you have, and I think you're starting to think towards the future.
Yeah, and that actually brings me to my next question for all you guys. Let's talk about the draft. I know everybody in the chat has probably been waiting for that, but we wanted to get a little bit of the old of 2020 come into the new 2021, because at the end of the day, you really can't say who's going to be on top 100% until you really see the draft. Like CFT said, Cowboys going to do some bargain bin deals, so he'll get some bolster their free agency later.
That's how we give it up. Oh yeah, that's what we do.
But we're going to go with the draft, and I'll start this. I was hyped for pick number 6. I wanted Jamar Chase. I heard you guys talking about it on your channel once in a while. Ed didn't want us to get Chase. I know CFT didn't want us to get Kyle Pitts, all them playmakers. But as Entertainah said, it was a smart thing to do if we got the right guy to pick it. The plan is set up. I'm just worried about Howie Roseman executing the plan. Yeah. The plan is you still get the 12th pick overall, which it's a deep draft. And although we want the skill player on offense, we need corner help. We need linebacker help. We need a lot of secondary help. We can use an offensive lineman. We can use a wide receiver. So there's going to be a guy that's going to fit our need and also possibly be the best player available at 12. And then if you look what happened with Carson Wentz, I still believe in Carson Wentz's talent. I believe, he just shut it down in Philly. I believe once he gets with the Colts,
you can't believe in him.
Yeah, but
can't go that far off he went way. You can't get that bad. If Dak played that bad last year, you know how much y'all be laughing at him.
Correct.
He's ranked below the 32 starters.
But let me just say this though.
We was laughing at Wentz too. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Listen, I heard you guys. Low key, I heard you. Listen,
I was here first for your round table back in what was it? Were we in November? Our first round or October?
That was the Eagles Cowboys.
You guys were clowning us and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to, and then I watched for the rest of the season. Like, are they seeing this?
I'll give you that.
Remember that I had DiNucci.
Yeah,
I had to lie to myself that whole game. Like, well, maybe we could. Yeah,
yeah. But look, so real quick on my take on Wentz is again, yeah, he was bad. But look, the coach was bad. That's why he's fired. 12 offensive linemen. We're going for. Listen, we just drafted 3 receivers, and we're going to get another receiver. So that goes to show you the recipe around, or the people around Wentz weren't any better. So I criticized him all throughout the season. Some people said I was too hard on Wentz, and I said no. Yes, no offensive line, no play calling, no this, but you could still you could look better in a bad situation, a la other quarterbacks. And I didn't think he did that, but I do think he's going to play the hand right with the Colts. I'm not saying he's going to be great, but he's going to get us a first round. So I'm looking for the future. I'm looking for 3 first-round picks next year. And again, in football, if you do the Miami Dolphins and accumulate the picks, you can turn it around quick. But as Entertainah said, it's all going to count on Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts can be a B+ quarterback or better, the future's bright. If he's not, well, then the stuff we got, instead of building a team, we got to build a quarterback. You know what I mean? So it really going to come down to Hurts. And so I'll start. I think with the 12th pick, I'm looking at a Micah Parsons / JC Horn type thing. I think Surtain is a little better than JC Horn, but if Kyle Pitts goes off the board, I believe the Cowboys will take Surtain in front of us. So I think, even though I thought JC Horn was more around the 16th, 17th pick, DB, he might be that guy for us. JC Horn, Micah Parsons, and or Jalen Waddle. I'm just stuck. They're my 3 guys. I think if Waddle's there, they're gonna go wide receiver. I think what they're gonna do. But now I'm seeing a lot of mock drafts where Devontae Smith I thought he could fall. I'm seeing Devontae Smith go to like the Lions and Waddle go too. So I think it's Waddle or JC Horn. They're probably my 2. Ed, who you think you're getting since you're farther back? I don't want to hear the people who are in front of me yet. I don't want them to hurt my feelings. I'll talk to somebody who's behind me.
I just want to say I'm happy you guys traded back and didn't get Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts. I was excited. And if
you tried to get Zach Wilson, but you don't want to talk about that.
That's lies.
I'm just saying. Well, the other point I wanted to bring up, another thing that it accomplishes by getting those future draft picks, because you're talking about potentially getting Zach Wilson. If it doesn't work out with Jalen Hurts, now you have a lot of ammunition to couple and trade up and get a quarterback in the following draft. So I think it also provides insurance for a potential Jalen Hurts replacement in 2022.
I agree with that. That makes sense.
And I will say Jalen Waddle probably will be your pick. I don't wish any injury, but he has been injury prone. You know how the Eagles are with injuries, so
I know that's my
kind of a
ankle. I think he'll be fine.
I think he
And
will.
he's a great receiver too. Like you're not going to be missing out. Jalen Waddle could be better than some of these other guys, no question.
Yeah.
I can't even lie about that.
Yeah, he can be, but he just has an injury history in the Eagles. You know how the injury history is, so you know when you get in the Eagles, you get that injury bug. So I don't wish it on him, but you know,
out with the old, in with the new. We changed. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
But as far as us, we're at 19, which is a weird position. You know, we're not high enough to get one of the good guys. Like we can't even get Trey Lance at 19. We probably won't even be able to get Mac Jones at 19. So it's a weird spot. Right now, we're looking at linebacker. You know, somebody like JOK out of Notre Dame, Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. All these guys are super explosive. There's a guy named John Davis out of Kentucky. He's shooting up the boards. He's a coverage linebacker. Wide receiver. I really like Rashad Bateman. I like him a lot out of Minnesota because I know we're not going to get Devontae Smith. We're not going to get Waddle. So once again, we're kind of in that weird spot where you're not going to get one of the top guys. You got to get one of the back end guys of the first.
How you enjoying that division championship with that bad pick?
I'm still happy. I'll take it because it's about culture with us. Ron Rivera's trying to build a culture, you know. So he's trying to just take all the bad stuff that was in the building. Get it out. We had to get this win. Just with the culture going on, we had to get this win. But I do like JOK. You can't lose with that pick.
Did you hear what he said about the Eagles?
He said something about Philly. I heard
he want to go to y'all. Y'all won't take him at 12, but he's a beast.
He's a beast. He's a beast. If we were around where you were, I would definitely consider him. But yeah, I mean, what he said, I ain't never hear somebody speak about a team like he hit Philly right to the core.
Where he from?
He's from Virginia.
He got some Philly in him, yeah. Because I saw that interview, I was like, oh, he just want to go there really bad.
Yeah, he definitely. So listen, hey, he go to Washington, just miss a couple tackles for us twice a year. We'll be all right.
With that front four, he'll get busy in Washington.
Oh yeah, he would. And then we're looking at left tackle. There's a guy named Christian Darrisaw at Virginia Tech.
He likes to.
And then quarterback. I mean, we just if we want a guy, we got to go get him. Are we willing to give up 3 first rounders like the Niners just did? They had to give up 3 first round picks and like a second round pick. Are we willing to really do that? I personally wouldn't do it. I do like Justin Fields. I don't know if it's really worth it to move up that far and get him. So. We're just in a weird spot. We might even trade back because it's just such a weird spot and try to get more talent. Maybe you get somebody like a Kyle Trask in the second round or Davis Mills, somebody like Kellen Mond, one of those guys.
You'll get Sam Darnold.
Nah, I'll pass on Darnold. Nah, I don't want him. But yeah, we're just in a weird spot. Like I said, I mean, we just got to get the best player available. Hopefully somebody drops. You know, maybe Michael Parsons. People will be like, oh, he's a troublemaker, so he might drop to 19. You know, hoping that happens. So. That's where we're at 19.
Yeah. Real quick before we let you go, William Stewart with a $10 super chat. He said Carson Wentz was sabotaged by Howie because Howie realized he paid the quarterback before he had a young roster built around him. Also, once Frank Wright left, Doug Peterson regressed. I mean, listen, kind of true. Like there's so much true to everything. You can attack the Eagles for being bad every situation. I mean, you can say anything and everything, and that's why everybody's going except for one person, the guy who really started all the bad trends, and Howie Roseman. So we gotta beat that. But Ed, so if it was up to you though, you think you would go with Rashad Bateman or?
If JOK is there, it's kind of you just gotta get him. Just the talent, the speed, the athleticism that he has when he's flying around. I don't know if you've seen a highlight where he hit one guy was just did a helicopter in the air. I mean, like he's just. He's just super speed. The knock on him is that he's a little small. Like he's like what?
He's like 205. I thought I read or something.
Yeah. So that's the knock on him. But I think with Del Rio and Ron, I think they probably get him in the right spots where he could be good behind our D line.
Yeah.
All right, Entertainah, go ahead. Who you guys got at 11? We're gonna save the earliest pick for last.
The one thing I'll say about Washington, and I don't watch him like Ed does. At 19, I think I'd be leaning offensive line there. I think that you want to try to bulk up that offensive line a little bit. Your defense is already really good, but like you said, if a really good player drops there, you take him. Yeah. But as far as the Giants goes at number 11, You know, everybody wants the wide receiver. Everybody wants the flashy toy. Everybody wants Parsons. I'm looking at the offensive line, man. Last year, we had the second worst offensive line in football. We surrendered the second most sacks. We've surrendered 83 sacks in 26 starts for Daniel Jones. If Rashawn Slater's there, that's the guy that I want. That's the guy that I want. I want Rashawn Slater, but I'm completely open to Parsons. I think Parsons changes this defense. Obviously, there's potential character concerns, but if he's as good as advertised and the way he looks on tape, if you add Parsons to this defense, we already have, in my opinion, one of the top 3 or 4 secondaries in football with the addition of Adoree Jackson, with James Bradbury, the trio of safeties that we got, with Xavier McKinney coming off the injury, Logan Bryan, and of course, Jabril Peppers. We got a really good defensive line. Really, you add a piece like that to this defense could be top notch.
Didn't y'all take a tackle last year?
We did, Andrew Thomas. Now
Slater
would
give up on him that quick?
No. Yeah, he play on the right side. He could play on the Slater could play on the right side. Plus, Slater's actually the only offensive lineman that I've heard at the top of this draft that can play all 5 positions. They say he's versatile. He can play center, guard, or tackle.
How do you feel about your left tackle you took? And what was that number? That was like
number 4.
4. How do you feel about him? Was he overwhelmed, or do you think he did solid?
The first half he was horrible, as was the entire offensive line. But then we made a change. Joe Judge stepped in. We got rid of Mark Colombo, former Cowboys.
I forgot about that fight there.
Offensive line coach. And Andrew Thomas played great the second half of the season. He shut down Chase Young, did a great job against him, did a great job against Miles. He did pretty damn good against Chase Young.
He tried to get that in there quickly.
And Chase Young's great. I think Chase Young's – I say this all the time. If I could pick one player in the National Football League right now, based on contract, based on age, non-quarterback, it might be Chase Young. Chase Young's fantastic, being that he's on the rookie deal. But Andrew Thomas held his own against Chase Young. Did a really good job against Myles Garrett as well. He went up against some of the best pass rushers in football. I'm confident with Andrew Thomas. I think Andrew Thomas is going to be a very good tackle in the league. I don't know if he's going to be all-pro, hopefully. But I still like the pick. I still thought that we had to go O-line last year. To me, it's either a weapon or offensive line. That's where I think we're going to go, whether it's Kyle Pitts, whether it's Devontae Smith. I do think Smith is going to be there when we pick. I've thought that for about 2 months when everybody had him going top 3. I think there's concerns there with his size. And I personally think Waddle's a better receiver. I've thought that for a while. I'm a big fan of Jalen Waddle. I think he'll be off the board. I think it's either going to be Devontae Smith or Rashawn Slater or Kyle Pitts. I think it'll be one of those 3 players, but I think Pitts will be gone. So realistically, I think it'll be Smith or Rashawn Slater where we're picking.
Yeah, real quick before CFT goes. I mean, listen, if somehow you take Pitts, Cowboys take Pitts, and then you take Devontae Smith, and there's no playmaker in front, that's just going to be – and that was my biggest fear, is being right after both the Cowboys and the Giants. That would hurt. But go ahead, CFT. Who do you think the Cowboys are looking at, and also who do you want? We all know who you want, but
real quick, this is what I think. I do think, because our division is still, as much as we don't want to say it, our division is petty. So I do think that if Parsons is there, the Giants will take him to make sure y'all don't get him. I just feel like
you could say the same thing about Devontae Smith.
Exactly. But as far as the Cowboys, who I want, obviously I want Kyle Pitts. He's a mismatch nightmare on a team with no receivers. So God forbid he put him on a team with 3 receivers. It's not even going to be fair. So obviously I want Kyle Pitts. I don't really have to explain to you guys why. I'm sure you watched the pro day and all of the things that went up and down Twitter. Who I think we'll probably get is Surtain. And it's just, I mean, he's been paired to us before most of the draft talk. Like they were putting Surtain with us in like December. So, if everything, I feel like he's our fail-safe. But if, say for instance, someone gets excited because Farley got hurt, they was putting Farley to Denver. Say Denver says, Vic Fangio is a defensive coordinator by trade. So I can see him just saying, well, I'm going to take Surtain since Farley's hurt. And then all bets are off the board, and then maybe we'll take Slater since he can play across the board. So I think it's Surtain or Slater, the practical pick. And the one I want is Pitts. But I feel like, I'll tell you this though, Mike. I feel like what you guys will get, I do feel like Jalen Waddle will get to you guys, because I feel like the Giants, that receiver room is kind of packed. I don't feel like they like Slayton. They got Galladay. They just paid him a heck of a lot of money. So when you pay somebody that amount of money, you're not going to pay him and then cut into his production by putting another receiver in there that is young and wants some touches too.
Yeah.
And then they still got, I think you guys got Tate still.
We got rid of Tate, but we got Sterling Shepard.
And Slayton.
Yeah, we got and that's the other thing that I always tell Giants fans with the wide receiver. You know, a lot of Giants fans, if you go on Twitter, Giants fans will tell you we need to take a wide receiver in all 7 rounds. Like that's the only thing they're focused on. I say this all the time. We didn't have Saquon Barkley last year. That changes a lot of things. All right.
Who is that again?
Yeah, who is that? that changed a lot of things.
Mr. 1, 2, 3, 80. That's who Saquon Barkley.
But my point is, opposing defenses have to respect Saquon Barkley. They stack the box. That helps the passing game, and he's a threat in the passing game. So that in itself is a weapon added. But by adding Kenny Golladay and John Ross, let's not forget about that. I think he's going to be the 4th option. But by adding Kenny Golladay, that puts Slayton where he belongs. Now Slayton is not getting number 1 coverage. Now he's getting number 2 coverage. Now Sterling Shepard is not getting number 2 coverage. He's getting slot coverage. So I think by adding Golladay, I think our wide receiving core is fine.
Yeah, I take a receiver.
Yeah, and I'm not. I love Devon. I would love to add Devontae Smith. Maybe he replaces, but we don't need. I don't think that's our biggest need right now. I don't even think it's close. I think it's line or an edge rusher.
Eagles from getting a receiver, they're going to get one of them. They're
I
not
agree.
going to get the one they wanted. He's going to Cincinnati.
Yeah,
like Chase is going to Cincinnati or the Miami or something like that. He won't get nowhere near the back end, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, if Chase, listen, it's gonna hurt me when the Dolphins take him at 6, even though we're building for the future. It's gonna be painful because, my gosh, man, my goodness,
all over again.
Listen, real quick, Jalen Reagor, upsetting season, injuries before the season, during the season. A lot of coaching staff. And again, I can't just get mad at our players really because look at Sidney Jones goes to Jacksonville. He ain't a lockdown, but he's getting crucial minutes. They extend him. Rasul Douglas played big minutes in Carolina. When players leave us, they find something. With John Gannon coming here, us playing more of a cover 2.
Patriots. The receiver.
Aguilar.
Aguilar did good with Oakland.
Yeah, he did.
He did real good at Oakland. Or I'm not Oakland.
Patriots overpaid for him. They gave him a lot of money.
Yeah, they definitely overpaid for him. But you see, so I think player development is going to be different. I'm not going to toot these guys yet because this is a real young coaching staff. But I do like the Frank Wright system. I know Jonathan Gannon played a lot of cover 2. I think that's going to help Slay be the big play Slay type of DB he wants to be. Not Jim Schwartz scheme, you know what I mean? Playing 10 yards off, playing sticks defense, making Slay play out of what he really want to do. You know, put a safety over top, not all the time, but half the time. So I think that's going to help. And real quick, we got like 215, 220 people in here. Make sure y'all smash that like button. The like button is free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing. And listen, definitely go check out these guys. Their link will be in the description. Ed Oliver, the Entertainah, and Cowboys Fan Talk. I know y'all don't like their teams, and there's a lot of Giants and Cowboys in Washington. I see them come creeping up in here too. But listen, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. You know how we got to do. We got to know what they're talking about so we can counteract. But shout out to my guy Robert Dredden with a $9.99 super chat. He said, "What up? The Philly Talk Podcast. What up, NFC East peeps? I think the division will surprise a lot of people this season. Hashtag fly Eagles fly." I think he's kind of trying to throw near that the Eagles are going to be better than what people think. I'll take that though.
Well, what I'm going to say to that is I agree. I don't agree with the Eagles. I'm not trying to knock the team. But I do agree with the division. I think a lot of people just think it's going to be like last year, and there's only going to be. I think 2 teams are going to the playoffs out of this division.
It's better that way. Let them sleep on us.
I think this is a legit division this year. I think the Giants got a lot better. I think Washington got a lot better. And Dak coming back, I think, legitimizes the Cowboys. So I do think it will be a competitive division this year. I expect all 3 of those teams to be at a bare minimum.
Hold up. You just said everybody got better, but I didn't hear you say the Eagles.
I got to be fair, man. I don't think you got better. But I do think you're headed in the right direction. I do think that. I think that your
culture got better. How about that? Your culture got better. You got a new coaching staff.
I do think
the Eagles are trusting the process right now.
Yeah, I think the Eagles. You didn't make the same mistake we did. Like the Giants, they should have started the rebuild years ago, and they took too long to do it. I think it's smart what you guys are doing. I just think that you have to eat it up for a couple of years as an Eagles fan and make sure they do it the right way.
Yeah. I was kind of saying that, like, look, in football, you can turn around quickly. You know what I mean? You could turn it around quickly if you do it the right way.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes you hold on to that team, and look what happened. Holding on to that, Super Bowl team kind of put us, behind the sticks. But we had the talent that could have performed if they all came together. Again, injuries derailed us, but this is a brand new team. So at the end of the day, we're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, shout out to everybody who's like, real quick. The thing that kills me is y'all keep talking about receivers a little bit. Cowboys want Kyle Pitts, who can be tight end receiver. You're talking about if Devontae Smith can slip to the Giants, I'll take him. Ed talking about Rashad Bateman, who I like a lot. He's just not in the range for us. Like if we were back, and if he slips to the second round and we have an early pick and we went corner,
he's not making it that far.
I know he's not making it out of the first. I mean, yeah. But can we get a receiver? Like we got no receivers really that proved it to anything. Now, like I said, I think Jalen Reagor is going to be a little bit better. But hey, listen, you might have Jalen.
The movie rating TF13.
Well, again, I think no. Let me talk about that real quick. TF13. Right. I think he can play, but again, what did Howie Roseman do? Every young player that started playing good for the Eagles, when the old veteran got back, he said, "You make more money, you're on the field." Jordan Mailata, the 7th round rugby player, playing good. Jay Peters get back in. Alshon Jeffrey comes back. TF13, you're out. Alshon in, and he didn't handle it well.
Yeah, you're right.
He did get snaps, but he was dropping balls. So it's not like he didn't play at all. He did come in, but the 50-50 in and out, played with his head, young player, bounced around, and he lost his confidence. How quick.
That's what Wentz liked. Wentz was Wentz's boy. Then they took him away from Wentz. And he was like, all right, man, I'm checking out. Yeah. like he just checked out.
But hey, it's gonna be crazy if it's Jalen Hurts, Jalen Reagor, and Jalen Waddle. You know what I mean? Like, come on, if your name's not Jalen, you're not on offense, I guess. I don't know.
That might happen.
That's going to be really weird. You know what I mean? Jalen to Jalen, pitches back to Jalen for a touchdown.
Waddle, y'all might just have pulled off something good, though, because I like Waddle a lot.
I don't want them getting Waddle. That's
not a slouch. That's not a like.
That gives me like Deshaun Jackson nightmares. I don't want you getting Waddle. I don't want you getting.
Oh, Deshaun Jackson gives Giant fans definitely nightmares. At least Washington had Deshaun Jackson for a little bit, and he stayed pretty healthy with you. He played double-digit games with you guys, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he beat up on you guys a couple times when he was in Washington,
Of course. Hey, Deshaun Jackson, like I said, for anybody who says size, he's the definition of being small and doing it. Now, he couldn't do it as long because of the size, but when he was in his prime, he was in his prime. Real legit. Real quick, shout out to William Stewart with the $5 super chat. He said, Mr. Rome, my uncle is a Cowboy fan. I just subbed, so I'll put a word in for you with my friends who are fans of the boys. There you go. But listen,
appreciate that, William Stewart. Appreciate that.
Glad you came over to the Eagles side with your uncle being a Cowboys fan. But yeah, so let's talk about quarterbacks now. I'm going to kind of be the odd man out because I got 4 games of experience. You know what I mean? But let's rank the quarterbacks in the NFC East, and I'm going to go last. We'll start with Ed Oliver. Rank the quarterbacks.
Just start at 2, man. You don't got to. Let's start at 2. Go 2 back. I don't need to say nothing. Yeah. We know what's up.
I hate to say it, but I mean, Dak is number 1. Number 2 is
so begrudgingly. It's okay. I gotta give it up to y'all defensive line. It's cool. Just give it up.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I'm honest. It's Dak number 1. Number 2 is Fitzmagic. If he's the magical guy he can be. If he's Fitztragic, then he's probably like the 4th. But number 2 is Fitzmagic. Based off of what he did with the Dolphins, he played pretty well with the Dolphins. So he's number 2. Number 3 is Taylor Heineke.
He's taking it there.
Number 3 is, in my opinion, I like Jalen Hurts better than Daniel Jones. So number 3 for me is Jalen Hurts, and then number 4 is Daniel Jones. And my reasoning why is because, I mean, I like what I saw from Jalen. I'm not going to lie. I like what I saw in the Cardinals game. I like what I saw in the Saints game. I thought he played he was awful in the Cowboys game. He played kind of bad against us too, but I think he's a gamer. Daniel Jones, his rookie year was really good. If he played like that, like his rookie year, he would have been better than Jalen. I would have ranked him higher than Jalen Hurts. But looking at what Daniel Jones did this past year, having an open lane and tripping over his feet, like he can't even run in a straight forward line. He had 10 picks this year, 11 fumbles. Like, he's got to clean up the fumbles. But, I mean, he has talent, but the turnovers are just really – every game he has a turnover. I know he's beating us, Entertainah. I know this is going to
– Hey, Fitzmagic be giving the ball up too now.
That is
no.
Last year, he was 4-3 as a starter. Last 16 starts, 27 touchdowns, 13 picks. So, I mean, off his last 2 years, he's been good. But Danny fumbles. He's fumbling the ball. Like I said, I know
the fumbling to me is overrated now. The first year was bad. This past year, he didn't fumble that much. I think he lost 6 fumbles. One was on Evan Ingram and hit him right in the hands. The other was on Wayne Gallman. Daniel Jones, go back, look at the numbers. He only turned the ball over 2 times in his last 8 starts. Fumbles and interceptions included.
That's not Daniel Jones' problem, though.
He got much better at securing football.
But Danny had 10 picks this year. He had 11 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, no, he started off bad.
You can't have 11 touchdowns in the whole
season. No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Carson had 14.
Danny turned the ball over more than he scored the football. He had 10 touchdowns, right? He had 11 touchdowns. He had
12. He had a rushing.
But he had 6 fumbles lost, right? And 10 picks. So that's 16 turnovers overall. So
I was trying to shoot him some bail.
Right. So you have 12 touchdowns and 16 turnovers overall. He's in the strategy.
Fitzmagic been in the league for 15 years. He ain't never touched the playoffs. Like, you gotta call it.
Danny hasn't
either. A large body of work with 0 playoffs. That's a lot of work.
And look,
playoffs.
Look, I'm not hyping up Fitzmagic, but like I said last year, if he would have started all 16 games with the Dolphins, they were on the path. They were on the path to the playoffs with the Dolphins.
How old is he?
He's 38.
At that age, he one hit, and then you got to bring in that dude that you said is third. Now they got tape on Heineke. Let's see what they do. Let's see what Heineke do when they got tape on him.
Hey, I like Heineke. He played well against Tom Brady. He played better than Mahomes against the Bucs. He played better than Aaron Rodgers against the Bucs.
That's with no tape. We got tape now.
That's cool.
You know, the game get different when they get tape on you.
That's cool. Hey, but the guy can run. He can move around the pocket, and he looks downfield. So you never know with Heineke. You never know.
Let Heineke know this ain't the XFL. It get real out here. Let him know.
Hey, look, Jeff Garcia came from the XFL. Kurt Warner came from the XFL. So you never – Canadian Football League, you never know where they come from.
It get real, especially in the NFC East. It's going to get real. Hey, iron sharp is iron. That's why people hate on our division. I tell you one thing. We play all of our games like playoff games.
Hey, look, all I'll say is if we play against Dallas defense, I think you'll have a good game.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah, I would love it. Yeah, Stella, come on. Yeah. I can't wait to play y'all again because y'all got y'all chest out.
Yeah. Another Thanksgiving game.
Hey, that first game when we stripped the ball on the goal line, I know you ain't had your chest out that first game. You was using it, and I was like, oh snap, this is going how I usually go. So it's cool.
No, I knew how it was going to go. I didn't think it was going to be 25-3, but we laid out Dalton and Terry McLaurin went crazy on Diggs. So we did our thing against Dalton.
I can't wait. Because I can't wait for y'all secondary to think that y'all gonna do the same thing to our receivers with a real quarterback back there. Y'all gonna see.
Okay, we got Chase Young. We got Chase Young. We got Montez Sweat. We got William Jackson now.
I got Ty Smith.
For a couple games.
I got Ty Smith. That's a Hall of Famer. I'm not worried about Chase Young.
And we got Chase Young and Montez.
Not worried about Montez Sweat.
Nah, but real quick.
He just good for what's them commercials? That's all he good for.
Old Spice.
That's all he good for.
Real quick, Al B coming in with a $4.99 super chat saying he's repping the Washington football team. And my man Ed, let's go NFC East repping champs. Man, I didn't think we'd be saying, if we were talking a year ago, I didn't think Washington would make that big jump. And like I said, it's all been their defense
for letting them win.
Yeah, you know what? But listen, I think Washington fans are handling it with a little bit more low key than if the Giants would have won. If the Giants would have won, it would have been a disaster for the NFC East. Trust me.
It's gonna be a disaster this year.
Move on, Mike.
Huh?
Out of the teams in the division, I know everybody hate Dallas. That's the easiest default. Every team in the league hate Dallas. But seriously, is the beef between the Eagles and the Giants, does it run deeper than the Dallas? I know what they try to put on TV.
Well, for me, I don't know about from an Eagles fan's perspective. No doubt about it. The team I hate the most is the Eagles, and it's not even close. And it's mainly because they've given me my worst moments in all three of the teams that I root for. The worst moments of my life has been because of the Eagles. So, but I respect their fans. I'll say that. I'm gonna be honest. I think the most passionate fans are the Giants and the Eagles fans. That's my honest opinion in the NFC East. I think they're ride or die. I think they're very passionate.
That's why y'all beef all the time.
But in terms of the team that I hate the most in the division, it's the Eagles, then Dallas, then Washington in that order.
I think things is going back to normal. I feel like the rivalry this year is really going to be between y'all two. Like as far as just the internal rivalry, I know that everyone wants the division championship, but I feel like about 6-7 years ago, we had a real big beef with Washington. When y'all come back up and we try to stay even kill, we good at the 8-8 thing. So I think that it's going to be this year. I've been watching ESPN already. They're already pitting us against Washington. That's all they're trying to do.
I think he's back. I think the rivalry's coming back. I really do.
I'm looking forward to it because that's what I grew up on. Teams to hate. I didn't really hate the Eagles as much. I mean, I hate all of y'all, but you get my point. It was Washington, and now it's like, okay, I guess that's coming back to how it used to be. So I'm looking forward to this year in the division because things is going back to normal as far as who hate who the most.
I think it's gonna be a lot. I think there's gonna be a lot of hatred in this division all around. I think it's gonna be much more competitive this year.
And that's what brings the hatred, the competitiveness. I can't even say that word right now because the competitiveness is what's going to bring the hatred. It's like, when you, again, like you said, after, your worst memories, the miracle in the Meadowlands, then like get like multiple losses, you start to form that. And definitely Washington and Cowboys used to have that thing. You know what I mean?
Real beef.
Well, and then you couple on what the Eagles did to keep us out of the playoffs. That just adds to it.
Icing on the cake. Yeah, we can't just forget about a couple months ago. And so I should be at the bottom of Ed Oliver's list since we helped him get on. We literally put.
You got love for the Eagles now.
But hey, real quick before I want to get Ed's ranking of who he hates, dislikes the most, and then I'll go to and CFT. You can do it as well. But shout out to Art Catering with the $5 super chat. He said Hurts is going to ball with all the new young talent around him, and they're going to kick butt. Yeah, I know that's wishful thinking, but we'll see. Hey, that's all we could do. In the offseason, listen, when your team is not that good, which, hey, the Eagles are not used to being coming off that bad of a season, but you can do all your talking in the offseason because once week 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, either what you said was right or you're just going to
Gotta get humble a little bit.
But shout out to Al B with another $4.99 super chat. Hey, let's show these Bamas the hat again. Let's go. And the Dallas gonna get skunked again. Get the broom out. Ooh, talking about a sweep.
He don't believe that. He don't even believe. That's cool though, because Ed don't believe it.
It's gonna be just like Thanksgiving, man.
Okay. All right.
So Ed, let us know. Growing up being a Washington fan, where do you rank? Who do you hate the most to the least in the NFC East?
Growing up in the DMV in Maryland, like there's a lot of. I don't CFT. Where are you from? Are you from the DMV?
Where I'm originally from?
Yeah,
originally from Chicago, but I was born in Austin, Texas.
Okay, so we have a lot of fans in Maryland. Like, have you ever been to Texas? Have you ever been to a game? Like, have you ever been in the state of Texas? And they're all just Dallas Cowboy fans. They say DC stands for Dallas Cowboys, and everybody knows the District of Columbia. So it's just annoying. There's a lot of Cowboys fans
everywhere, man.
Yeah,
everywhere.
And Maryland.
I don't know how, but everywhere I've gone, it's a nice, good stronghold of Cowboys fans. That's why everybody hates us. like they're around.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Washington fans down in Texas too. But yeah, I got a lot of hate for Dallas for sure. The most annoying fan base in the world. They always think they're going to the Super Bowl every year when they go 8-8, 6-10, 7-9.
That's a fallacy too.
Yeah, and then
you don't know nobody that says we're going to the Super Bowl because I'm a devout fan and I don't know none of them. I don't know them. I've been looking.
Yeah,
if we don't exist, that's something Stephen A. made up and everybody believe it. It's a lie.
No, you'll be surprised. There's a lot of Cowboys fans that believe it's Super Bowl or bust every year.
Skip is your biggest rep.
Skip ain't a fan. Skip ain't a Cowboys fan.
He's an entertainer.
That's a fallacy. He's not a fan.
I just played.
Y'all can have him. He likes Jalen Hurts anyway.
So who's next?
The Giants rivalry has heated up. Like this Chase Young versus Andrew Thomas thing.
We took all our players too. I mean, Eric Flowers, Landon Collins.
Landon Collins too. Yeah, and then this whole it was the Dwayne Haskins versus Daniel Jones thing, but we saw how that ended up. So, but there's a lot of hate for the Giants in Washington. There's been a lot of hate on Twitter recently, and then Eagles. I can't hate y'all for giving us a free Philly cheesesteak in the playoffs. I can't hate y'all for that. For giving us the alley-oop. So it's Dallas, then New York, then Philly.
Yeah, listen, like I said, I'm not in Philly. I'm about like 55 minutes to an hour outside. Well, like 45 minutes outside, but from the stadium, about 55 minutes. But I am in PA. Man, growing up, man, it's just been the Cowboys as my number one hated team. You know what I mean? Like, it's just them. Like, legitly, I don't like to lose to the Giants at Washington. And again, growing up, listen, I'm 30 years old. I just turned 30 in March. So, like, again, I came into football, like, listen, I had Eagle shirts when I was 5, but I'm watching cartoons, not football at 5. But like when you get like 7, 8, 9, and you're starting to try to play your flag league or your 80, 60 pounds, whatever that is, you start to get into football. That's when I came in right around McNabb. And so like the Cowboys always been like they up and down competing, but I never understood the hype, especially being only 30 years old. And listen, when a 50-year-old comes at me, I'm like, listen, I know you got what you got. You know what I mean? And I understand, like, you didn't pick them because they won 5 Super Bowls. You picked them because it just is what it is. But the greatest part of sports is actually feeling it, being in the moment, laughing with your team, crying with your team. And if you know what I mean? And the people my age who like the Cowboys haven't did it. And I'd always started hating the Giants fan when they went on that 07 and 2010 run because Giant fans just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, dang, we still don't got a Super Bowl. We've been there. We lost. But I still got to go Cowboys first, Giants second. And Washington, like, I know a couple, but they're just like, they're normally just like chill. Like, look at Ed. He's just chill.
Washington fans ain't chill. I know some that ain't chill. I went to school in Richmond, Virginia. Washington fans is not chill. I know some real ones. That's real annoying. So with them coming back up the ranks, yeah, it's going to be a fun year. No doubt. My phone definitely gets messages on a regular when they make moves.
There you go. So they're your number one team.
Well, no, to be honest with you right now, my number one team is y'all.
Because of YouTube?
Yeah, no question. Eagles fans is different right now. I don't understand where I'll tell you this. I don't really mind the hate because to be honest with you, you guys all get hate to your teams. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't never seen hate like I get because I get hated by every team. You can wear your hat to the grocery store right now. Unless a Giants fan sees you or something like that, Ed, ain't nobody gonna probably say nothing to you or a Cowboys fan. I could be in a grocery store and a Broncos fan will walk past me with an attitude because everyone hates us. It's ingrained in them. I don't know what it's about. And the reason why we got so much popularity is because of y'all. People hate us, but they'll wake up. People wake up at 3 in the morning to watch a Cowboys game. They can say Cowboys on tonight, 3 a.m., and we'll get the best ratings of the year. Because as much as people hate us, they're going to watch.
Yeah, we love watching them lose.
Don't lie, you're going to watch.
I'd rather watch PGA.
I'll be the first to say I hate all you guys. We're in the same division, but some of my best memories as a Giant fan are against the Cowboys. So that's why I hate the Eagles a lot more. I mean, I think about the Terrell Owens crying game. That warms my heart. I think about beating Tony Romo to get into the playoffs before we go on the Super Bowl run. So I definitely got a lot more, but it's because of the experience I've had as a fan. It's not so much the fans themselves. It's the experiences I've had as a fan against those teams. Cowboys haven't bothered me. I know you guys have had our number recently, but Cowboys haven't bothered me.
Everybody number recently. Dak be running the division. He just got hurt last year. Y'all can't say that's wrong.
The truth. Listen, I don't want to wish. I don't wish harm on no player, and I hope Dak has a healthy season. But again, all reports were that the healing was great, but that was a rough one.
I know that could be fine. I ain't worried about that.
I said
they threw some metal. They threw some metal. That ankle probably stronger than the other one. They threw some metal on that.
Yeah.
Now it probably hurt when it rained, but it's some metal and some screws all through that ankle. He's fine. like he'll be just fine. If it was ligaments or something like that, or nerves, like what happened to Jalen Smith, I'll be more nervous. But it was just a snap bone. It looked crazy, but a snap bone is better to heal than you worrying about nerves firing. So he'll be fine.
Yeah,
I love it though, because when I used to see like over the last couple months when I would see the stories, I mean, he might not be healthy. I'm like, yeah, that hate's still there. It's there. You just don't want him to be healthy. It's cool. No more Andy Dalton. He in Chicago, so y'all don't get the eat off of that this year. Y'all got to deal with a real quarterback.
Yeah, well, we will see. And low key, I don't want you to get your offensive line any better because I do believe when them guys come back, they'll be good. But I don't know how long. As you get older, the injuries are just going to get worse. So if you're starting to get injured at 29, 30, 31, and 32, normally ain't better as an NFL player. You know, it's a rough sport. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So we're going to find out now. My last question, I was thinking about asking this as we go on an hour and 5 minutes, and we're closing into that 7 o'clock thing. I was going to ask, let's talk records, but this is, like I said, this is pre-draft. Shout out to everybody. If you guys are willing, we can do this, a month or so after the draft where we kind of see our teams finalized. We're starting to hear the reports about, teams, players getting better or taking the next step, or just starting to see what the tail end of free agency, the draft all brought us.
Yeah.
And the drama that comes out of Dallas all the time. We can hear all that. And we could come back on here, but unless you guys want to go now, because without the draft, you can make a significant jump in this draft or kind of stay the same. Like I said, this is kind of early for roundtable, but I really wanted to get your thought on last season and the draft too, so we can come back and see if we got some of the players that we were projecting to our teams and whatnot, and we can come back and see whoever does get pits in this division. We can, is this gonna or one of them Devontae Smith, Jalen players.
Oh, y'all gonna be mad if we get pits.
Shout out to Art Catering with a $2 super chat. He said, "I grew up in Charlottesville, Virginia. Rome, I feel ya."
Yeah, I've been to Charlottesville.
There you go. So with that being said, like I said, I think we can hold for who's going to win the division till after the draft. You guys agree?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you. Yeah, I'll wait till we can do a quick draft.
Go ahead. Give us your hot take. Who won in the division? Go ahead.
You want me to go? We're going to win the division. We're going to win the division.
Give us order now. Order.
All right. Well, I'll tell you why we're going to win the division. Last year, you had 2 new schemes on both sides of the ball. You had no time to learn it. You had a new head coach. I think Joe Judge is going to prove to be one of the best coaches in the NFL this year. I love what he brings to this team. We added a lot more talent in free agency. We accelerate the process. Saquon Barkley is back. I think that's going to help Daniel Jones and this offense dramatically. Another year of continuity on the offensive line. I think this defense is only going to build off of what they built last year. I think New York Giants are going to win this division. Matter of fact, I could argue, you guys may not want to admit it, we could have easily swept the division last year. We swept Washington like we always do. If Evan Ingram holds on to the football, we sweep the Eagles. And we probably should have beat the Cowboys the first time around. I know that Dak got hurt. If Dak stays healthy, you probably beat us. But he did get hurt in that game.
Dak got hurt and we beat you.
We could have easily – let's be fair, they called back 2 touchdowns in that game against the New York Giants. One on the fake field goal, another one later in the game. Giants easily could have been 6-0 in the division last year. I think the team got a lot better. I think Jones, the second year in the Garrett scheme, should get better, especially with the better parts around him.
More than 11 touchdowns.
And he's gonna. I like the Giants this year. I think we are legitimately going to win the division.
16 turnovers, 11 touchdowns.
And I'll go Washington 2. I'll go Dallas 3. I'll go Eagles 4.
All righty, real quick. I'm gonna let Ed get in here, but real quick, you got some more Washington hype. Al B with another $2.99 super chat. He said, "Rome, only thing y'all getting is the broom."
Sure we are. You don't believe it.
Happy day.
Hey, it's all love. It's all love. Go ahead, Ed. Who's winning the division?
Entertainah, I don't know how you think a guy that can't run in a straight line without tripping over his feet can win a division.
Everybody makes fun of him for the play. We scored a touchdown on the drive. We scored a touchdown on the drive.
That's like Mark Sanchez. He ain't never living that down.
A guy who has 11 touchdowns and 16 total turnovers. I just don't see it. But you did get better. So first, I'm not gonna. I don't think Washington is gonna win it. I just can't say it because of Fitzmagic. You just don't know if it's gonna be Fitztragic or Fitzmagic. So I got us right now. It's 17 games. I got us going 8-9. We got the toughest schedule because we won a division. So that is gonna hurt us a little bit. So guys going 8-9. I think we're gonna be second. I think the Giants are going to be Eagles are going to be last. I'm going to say that. And then it's hard for me to say Dallas first because their defense did not get better. But right now,
hey, and
I'm gonna just say
we had the second most injuries last year. You keep sleeping.
I mean,
in the league behind the 49ers, it was Dallas.
But D-Law was still there. Jalen Smith was still there. Van Der
both our tackles and our starting quarterback.
Yeah, but he's saying your defense ain't
lose
better.
Both your tackles for the year and your starting quarterback and your starting tight end, and you look at me in the face and say, "Well, you had D-Law." Come on, man.
But they don't play defense.
It's like 5 starters IR for the year.
That's your offense, though. But they don't play. Your defense didn't get better.
We lost 2 D tackles for the year.
Who? McCoy?
Gone for the year. Tristan Hill gone for the year. We were playing with our backup D tackles.
But McCoy's old. He's old. So you still.
Okay. And Fitzpatrick's old. So what you saying?
But you didn't re-sign McCoy. You didn't re-sign McCoy, so it's like you didn't have him last year. You won't have him this year.
He probably not going to be on my team. He's still at Dollar Tree with the rest of our free agents, but he's not going to be. He's not going to be on our team. He probably go to like Tampa and try to get an easy ring.
But right now, I do have Dallas barely winning. Their defense didn't get better. I got the Giants third, us second, Eagles last right now.
I can respect that.
I'm tired of this already, but go ahead, CFT.
I think I roll with what Ed said. You know,
okay.
I'm not here to say we're going 13 and 4 because like I ain't crazy like that.
Bring out the real Dallas Cowboy fan in you. Bring it out.
That's crazy. But I do think that Dak is good for another 4 wins. We went 6 wins with 4 different quarterbacks. Like y'all couldn't even point Garrett Gilbert out of lineup. Like, come on, we had some weird quarterbacks.
He was better than DiNucci.
And he was. You can't point him out of lineup neither. So, you know, I feel like with Dak, we're at least 4 wins. And if everything breaks right, we can get 5 wins. So we at least 10 and 6 or 10 and 7, 11 and 6, or however you want to do that. But I do think Washington will make the playoffs. I just think there'll be a wild card. I think we'll get the division nod. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Because I think I don't even think the Eagles is going to be an easy out. Because y'all play better in that if I want to keep it funky, y'all a better team when people don't like y'all don't do well with success.
Underdog mentality. Let's go. Sleep on us. I like the
that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm going to be honest with y'all, when people sleep on y'all play better. So I don't think y'all going to be – there's no easy outs in our division. As much as we going to talk our trash, but it's better that way. Because if you don't have a good division, you get to the playoffs and get dusted. That's Washington. So, you know, we gotta go through the gauntlet of our own division, and hopefully whoever emerges on the other end can make some noise in the playoffs so people stop disrespecting us.
Yeah, I'm tired of the NFC least talk. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. But real quick, shout out to Jameer Butler with a $2.99 super chat. He said, "Bird Gang way is the only way." Facts. And I'm about to give you the Eagles are winning the division. Now, let me stop. Hold up. But let me just say this though, real quick. Look, like you said, I think we're better when people are like 4th place. I will say this. We have the easiest schedule being in last place, and the 17th game is the Jets. And I hope they screw up this quarterback situation so we could beat them like we've been, because in the history of the Jets, they never beat the Eagles. And I know that because my brother's a Jets fan. I give it to him all the time. But so, and the easiest schedule in the East.
We got the 3rd easiest, so I'm with it.
Yeah. So but the easiest schedule in the East, we get the Jets as our 17th game.
I wouldn't sleep on that.
Washington got Buffalo. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what comes with the East. That's what comes with it.
Got to get the toughest. But so we'll see. Again, New York could be good if they end up getting this Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, and he's legit. You know what I mean? But we'll see. And like I said, pretty much our season is going to go by Jalen Hurts. Again, the Philadelphia Eagles, if we are at week 10 and we only had 2 different combination offensive lines, that's pretty good, because by week 10, we had 10 different combinations of offensive linemen. We had different receivers, everybody going in and out. So if the Eagles can stay healthy, if Jalen Hurts is a B+ or better quarterback, I think we're going to be good. We'll be decent, but I'm not going to sleep on what the Giants did. I didn't like Joe Judge signing, but he proved all them shenanigans he did, like holding tennis balls and doing all that stuff. It was weird, but it kind of got these guys to buy in. I'm not going to say they didn't play hard. Even when they lost, they look good doing it besides Daniel Jones. To be honest, that's the real question mark right there.
The question mark for in my opinion, the question mark for the division. I agree with these guys. I don't think I'm not sleeping on the Eagles. Do I think you'll finish fourth? That's my honest opinion. Yeah, I do think you'll finish fourth, but I don't think they'll be easy games. I think you guys will fight. But I think what the division is going to come down to between Washington, the Giants, and Dallas is which unit gets better. Does the Giants offense get better than the Cowboys defense gets better? If it does, I think the Giants will be better than the Cowboys. I think that's what it comes down to. If the Cowboys defense gets better than the Giants offense, the Cowboys will be better than the Giants. I think that's what it ultimately comes down to. And Daniel Jones is a huge question mark. The question is, now that the Giants have supported him with the proper weaponry, can he take that step forward? And it's going to come down to the offensive line.
He's playing for a contract for real.
Yeah.
It's this year.
If God forbid, well, no, I hope he don't play well. But if he doesn't play well, y'all gonna be back in the draft next year, fighting with the Eagles. Except the Eagles gonna have like 15 first rounders, so they ready to move up.
Yeah, real quick, shout out to Ken C with the $5 super chat. Shout out to my man Ed. Hey, just keep us underdog like always. We will show out. Hail. Listen, hey. You guys came into this last season as the guys who were supposed to be last place. Washington was supposed to be last place. Y'all came out and showed out. Are you going to be able to handle the success with Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yes, sir. Humble pie. Hey, last year, all the games I said we were going to lose, we ended up winning. So hopefully I'm the reverse jinx. So I'm saying we'll finish second. Somehow we might finish first. So I'm doing it again. We'll see.
Mike.
But Fitzpatrick, that's why I can't pick his to finish first, because you just don't know what you're gonna get. You just don't know. But I do like Heineke though.
Real quick before we go, can we all give like a random prediction for one team in the division?
Let's do it.
All right. I don't think Fitzpatrick gonna finish as the quarterback. I feel like, and I don't even think it's gonna be because of injury. I feel like it's gonna be exactly like he's always been. He might start out hot and he gonna get extra regular, and then y'all gonna start moving different quarterbacks around, trying to shout because y'all know y'all gonna have a decent defense. And I think that's gonna be y'all downfall, because Fitzpatrick is good for getting hot and getting real cold, and then y'all gonna bring in Heineke, and he ain't gonna quite be ready. And I feel like that might be y'all biggest downfall. Now, if y'all do make a trade for a quarterback or draft somebody like that Mond guy, that Keelan Mond or whatever his name is, all bets are off. But right now, if y'all stay pat at quarterback, I don't think he's gonna finish the year.
And I can't disagree. I mean, look at his tracker. He's been on 9 teams.
Has a great backup. I just don't think he got more than 4 games in him. I feel like it started getting weird after them 4.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree, because he's been on 9 different teams. There's a reason why he's been on 9 different teams, you know. So, but
when he get hot, he get crazy hot. So I'll give you that.
That is true. When he gets hot, he's got weapons. This is probably the best all-around team he's had in a little bit, with Terry, Curtis, Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas at tight end too. And if he just doesn't turn the ball over, we should be fine. But like you said, if he starts turning the ball over, then it's like, yeah, you got to sit.
Let me just say this real quick. First, let me get this out. Jeremiah Butler with a $4.99 super chat. He said, my honest opinion, now this is an Eagle fan, so don't be calling us delusional all the time. He said 1 Giants, 2 Washington. Well, Dallas fans might not like this. 3 Dallas, and then 4 us.
He said what I said, same order. That's I agree with him. Giants, Washington, Dallas. I agree with him.
But real quick, hey, if that's the case, you should start Tyler Heineke, let him struggle for the first 14 games, insert Ryan Fitzpatrick right as the playoffs start, and get him.
I'm gonna tell you what,
that might work. I don't like that.
I think Fitzpatrick is decent. I do. I think last year, I thought Miami should have left him in there. I think they brought in Tua early. He's not going to win you games. He might, but if you're Washington with the team that you have, you want to rein him in. You want to say, listen, manage the game. We don't need you to go out there and throw 35 times a game. We want you to be a game manager. And yeah, I think Fitzpatrick is capable of doing that. I actually thought it was a good pickup by Washington that they signed him. I think he's a good stopgap quarterback. I think it was a good move by them. But I still think we're going to beat you guys when push comes down.
This is the last positive thing I'm going to say about Washington. Because they won a division. They don't need my positivity. If you look at his 9 teams, he's been a journeyman, but he's been on some scrubby dub teams. Even when you look at the Bucks, they had nice offense, but no defense. I don't think he ever had not many quarterbacks have a defense like this who's possibly going to get better, especially if they get a JOK, which I don't.
Yeah, one with the Jets. They went 10-6, but he still missed the playoff.
Yeah, he had B Marchdale.
Don't forget fair code. But 10-6 is going to win this division, though. That's the thing. With the Jets, they had the Patriots and others. We don't have no Patriots in this division. That's the thing. But look at my guy, Fair Cody. He's in here. He said, we're going to win it. We won a division with a guy with a peg leg, with Alex Smith. So that's the thing. If he just doesn't turn the ball over, the defense carries us. We should be fine. We got McLaurin. We got Curtis Samuel. We got Logan Thomas. We got weapons to help out Fitzmagic. So he's just got to chill out, not be Fitztragic. And we can win at least 9 games if he doesn't throw up.
Now, here's what I'm going to say in response to Farrah Cody. You are absolutely right. You won the division this year with a guy in one leg. It's not the same division. The Cowboys are much better with Dak back, and the Giants are a much better football team this year. So you are not winning the division with a guy in one leg this year. You're going to need Fitzpatrick to play a lot better than the guy in one leg.
100% right. I agree.
Yeah, the Giants and the Cowboys are much better than they were last year. So the one leg ain't getting it done this year. You're going to need 2 legs.
The Eagles are a sleeper too. Stop leaving us out.
No, the Eagles could. Hurts is the biggest question mark in this division, in my opinion. Honest to God, Jalen. And I am not a big Hurts believer.
I know. I heard.
But Hurts is the biggest wild card in this division this year. If he could be a top 10 to 12 quarterback, the Eagles could sneak up on people.
Yeah, because he can run.
If he pulls out a couple upsets, he could throw somebody's playoff hopes right in the trash.
Yeah. Let me just say this, though. He's the first player ever in their first 2 starts to throw for 500 yards and run for 150. Now, again, that's a stat that is counting everybody's first 2 starts. So even the greatest of the greats weren't the great in the first 2 starts. But still, 500 yards passing, 150 yards rushing in his first 2 starts. He won a game with his legs, won a game with his arm. Again, he has to work on stuff. But Here's what
I'm going to say to that, though. The quarterback everybody's picking on, how about his first start against the Bucs? So, I mean, limited sample size.
Nah, he did get beat. He had like 5 touchdowns versus the Bucs.
Yeah, but I agree. Hurts definitely has talent. He's better. He looked decent. But what I worry about if I'm an Eagles fan, I feel like he's a limited quarterback. And when teams get a book on him, that's what I worry about. I do think Sirianni, as bad as his opening press conference was, I actually think Sirianni was a good hire by you guys. I like him. I think he's a good offensive mind. I like Sirianni.
I think y'all biggest problem with Hurts is y'all they don't want to admit it, but y'all whole hierarchy still split.
Yeah,
y'all thought it went away with Carson, but somebody tried to move up. You don't want to admit it. Somebody tried to move up. That means that somebody in that building isn't quite sold on Hurts. And the only problem is if Hurts has a bad game or two.
Let's be real, man. They drafted Hurts intending he was going to be the backup. They didn't draft Hurts to be a starter. They just paid Carson Wentz $33 million a year.
Why do it then? Why do it?
Howie Roseman think he's smarter than everybody, and he's not.
Howie Roseman, and I'm not saying Hurts can't be a starter. Maybe he'll prove a lot of people wrong this year, but I think that was the dumbest thing he could have done. But it showed you that Wentz is not mentally strong. I think that had as much to do with anything. I think it screwed with Wentz's head.
I will agree.
I think Hurts will be fine with all the movement.
Yeah. He got that mindset. He's already out there working with Quincy Avery, you know what I mean? Deshaun Watson's guy. But let me just say this real quick. And I'm not comparing them to, but listen, the Seattle Seahawks had what was his name? Who was a quarterback that they had and they signed to a big contract?
Flynn.
Flynn. They had Flynn. They draft Russell in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? We had Carson. I'm not trying to compare, but you never know. I'm trying to tell you, just don't sleep on my man Jalen Hurts. He has more potential in the 4 games than like look at Dwayne Haskins. I had my man Ed down here capping for Deshaun.
Haskins is pretty terrible.
Jalen Hurts was one of the 4 as a starter. Had a 52% completion percentage last year, so that was pretty bad. But he showed some flashes.
Did you believe in Haskins?
I convinced myself to believe in the guy. He had some good games his rookie year, like the Eagles game. He won Rookie of the Week. He played well, and then it was the Cowboys game. He played well before he got hurt.
That true fan in you, because I rooted for DiNucci, and I was lying to myself the whole week. I just knew that he was going to be good in my mind, and it was bad as I thought.
It took me a long time to realize. Now the pictures with the exotic dancers, I can't get mad at them, but that was like the last straw. It was just a done deal for real. It was a done deal.
Facts. But hey, We did it. A nice hour and 24 minutes. Like I said, guys, this was great. We could do something again if you guys want to do it on another channel, my channel, whatever we can come up with. But listen, the draft is going to be very spicy. You know what I mean? We're all picking. Well, they got 19. So most of us are picking in the top half. It's going to be interesting, especially 10, 11, 12, back to back to back. Teams that don't like each other. And as CFT said, there's a little bit of pettiness in here. So it's like, we took Dallas Goedert from the Cowboys. They took CD Lamb for us. So, a lot of pettiness. And then Washington is going to be chilling there as the division champs at 19. Hopefully they don't get another defensive star. So one more time. But yeah, listen, we got to do this
again. Real dry after the draft. So if y'all want to do something in May, June.
Hey, man. You guys are open to doing this weekly in season. I do it too. Alternate channels every week. I'd be open to it.
Y'all let me know, man. I appreciate you bringing me on, Mike.
You already know.
And I'm gonna go sub y'all channels because I'm sub to Mike's. So as soon as I get off here, I'm gonna sub to y'all's. You know what I'm saying? Mike jump in the comments and be one of those annoying commenters. Y'all see me in there.
Hey, but listen, yeah. So everybody in here, Eagles Nation, go sub these guys up if you don't already. I believe a lot of people be lurking on Ed's channel, probably the Entertainers too, but definitely go get at CFT as well. You know what I mean? When they lose, go make them feel go enjoy their misery. You know what I mean? When they win, you don't got to be on their channel when they're winning. Just go over there when they're losing.
I appreciate you for having me on, man. I do. I had a good time.
Man. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Peace. Y'all see y'all later. Peace.
Wizards better than the Sixers.